This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show, broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Here's Jason Walker.
Happy Friday, the Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center, Major Mortgage Man Cave, and big show today. Some breaking news on the national level, which I'm sure you've heard about, and maybe you haven't. Also on this day in history, predictions for the weekend coming up, and as well as we'll be joined on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline by a great friend. I literally watched her grow up through high school, well, in high school and on, but Selena Adelson Journey will join us. She is a elementary administrator and also a children's author, and she's going to join us. She's got a book that discusses a child's perspective of COVID. It's really good. I've read most of it and was a big fan. So she's going to join us here in a little bit. The breaking news is that President Donald Trump has been taken to, or is going to be going to, Walter Reed Hospital for what they're calling an abundance of caution after being diagnosed with COVID-19. Broke the news last night on his Twitter, and then him and the First Lady both have come down with the COVID. And I'll give you my thoughts on some stuff here in a second, but he is headed to, the president is headed to the hospital, and they've got a suite there. He can work. The White House office, press office, saying that it's out of an abundance of caution, and that he will keep working from there for the next few days. So, news breaking in the last really half hour. Speaking of the COVID, let's give our Montana daily update. 13,855 confirmed cases, 360 new ones reported today, 186 deaths, 177 in the hospital, 9,569 recovered, 4,100 active. That includes a fourth in Yellowstone County again, over 1,000, 1,013. 134, Bighorn 95, Rosebud 209, Roosevelt 248, Glacier 54 in Hill County, 607 in the Flathead, where Helena High plays tonight. 384 Cascade, 335 Missoula County, 145 Lewis and Clark County, 224 in Gallatin. So, see where there's like colleges and stuff and stuff like that. Big numbers. Obviously, we want everybody to be healthy. We want everybody to be good. So, including our president. Speaking of the COVID and sports, because we do try to focus on sports first here on the Jason Walker Show. At least 7 games have been postponed or canceled for tonight. Belgrade at Great Falls, which we talked about yesterday. Lewistown at Sydney is postponed or canceled. Glendive at Billings Central is not happening. Red Lodge at Poplar, Browning at Dillon, Cutbank at Wolf Point, and Loyola hosting Anaconda tomorrow. All sports on the Fort Peck and Blackfeet Indian reservations are on hold. We've talked about that, last week, I guess, or a week before, as Blackfeet Nation issuing a 14-day quarantine of the reservation Fort Peck following. Fort Peck, of course, with Roosevelt County, where there's an abundance, 100 less active cases today than there was yesterday, but still. So Butte Central, which has had 2 games, so they're playing tonight. Butte Central's going to be at home tonight, I think Libby. But the Maroons haven't played for 2 weeks. Their game next week has already been canceled because they play Browning, at Browning. So that's not going to happen. So instead, they're going to play a JV Livingston squad. Cut Bank, which was supposed to play Wolf Point tonight, has been moved to October 12th. All events involving teams from Sydney, including volleyball, postponed. Brockton schools announced this morning no practices until at least the 19th. That's 17 days from now. Of course, that Fort Peck reservation where we talked about. Crazy numbers, crazy things happening in sports. And unfortunately, we are going to see more of it. We talked about it on the show. We've talked about it ad nauseum. We've known, that there's going to be more and more cancellations in sports for Montana. So there it is. We are going to make predictions and a little bit of recap. The golf is wrapping up. State A golf and Double A golf as well. I think the A is down in Butte, Double A over in Missoula. Big night for the Capital volleyball squad last night. They're now just 61 straight wins as they rolled over Helena High. So we'll have predictions. We got On This Day in History coming up. Let's see if we have any. Do we have any golf results? I know there was some coming in as we went on. Looks like the Bozeman High girls are going to repeat. What's that? 3 in a row? 4 in a row? And by the way, the Glendive and Billings Central game was canceled because of a COVID case at Glendive. All right, back to golf. Sentinel freshman Cade McDonough goes 1 under today. He was 3 under for the 2 days, and he is the Double A champ. Gallatin boys, the new school, will finish, I think, runner-up. Jordan Verge will go second. His brother Justice in there as well. And those two are pretty good golfers. That whole Gallatin boys squad, which won for Bozeman High last year, won state, are all over at Gallatin now. But Bozeman girls are going to win state. And Cade McDonough, freshman from Sentinel, wins the boys Double A state championship. That is awesome. Very cool. We'll get some golf updates hopefully by before we get the end of the show. All right, so here's what I wanted to. I guess it's called venting. It's honestly it's pissed me off since last night, and I'm not going to hold back. I don't care who you support in the presidential race. I don't give a rip. But when the president of the United States and his wife come down with a very dangerous disease, now is not the time to light up social media with comments such as, good, I hope they both die, and crap like that. Uncalled for. And just unnecessary. I mean, it's just ridiculously stupid to wish death because you don't like the president of the United States. You hope he dies? You freaking kidding me? Get the hell out of here with that. Look, there was a lot of people that didn't like 8 years of the previous administration. They weren't lighting up social media hoping that Obama died. There's a lot of crap going on in this country. 2 weeks ago, Justice Ginsburg died. And people were all over social media giving their condolences. Both sides. Both sides of the freaking aisle. Nobody was out there saying good. There are people who worked for the previous administration and running for Congress and much more. Zahra Rahim, who was a former Obama staffer and Hillary Clinton's national spokeswoman in 2016, tweeted today, "It has been against my moral identity to tweet this for the past 4 years, but I hope he dies." What the hell is wrong with you? And like I said, I don't give a shit who you vote for. I don't care. And I don't care about cussing. You don't wish death on the President of the United States or his family. There was a poll taken today, and over 40% of confirmed Democrats said they hoped the president died. That's where we're at in this country, my friends. And it's bullshit. I'm not on radio, it's internet, I can say it. Even Joe Biden, who is a complete moron, tweeted out, "This is a time to come together." Not a partisan. I mean, the president of the United States is going to be admitted to the hospital for a few days as a precaution because he has COVID. Well, think about it. Would you rather be in the hospital or at home if you got COVID? They can do a hell of a lot more in a hospital than they can at your house. He's not transferred power to Vice President Pence. He's in good spirits. They said he has a little bit of congestion and really fatigued. Well, look at his schedule. And now everybody on social media too. Well, he shouldn't have been at the debate. He shouldn't have done that. Really? Because you think he had it? And then there's other conspiracy theorists out there saying, "Oh, he's faking it." No, nobody's going to fake a major illness like this, dumbass. And if you want to debate me on it, call me right now. Tweet me, Facebook me, let's go. If you want the President of the United States or his family to die because of COVID-19, call me right now. I would love to hear from someone. Absolutely would love to rip you a new ass. I can't even. I can't even. What kind of sick individual are you to wish death on someone? Least of all, the President of the United States. Now, look, I'm not a huge Trump supporter, but he's still the president. And I make no bones about that. I don't like Governor Bullock. I don't want him dead. I'm more on the conservative side of life. And you've known this if you listen to this show. But I'm not going to wish death on anybody. And the fact of the matter is that there was people who worked for President Obama and Hillary Clinton saying, "I hope he dies." Minutes after Trump tweeted early this morning. It was just after midnight Montana time. Or just before midnight, I'm sorry. And every one of those people who has wished death or said they hope he dies should be arrested. For the minorest crime of being a dumbass. All right. got that off my chest. I've been just livid. And in my job, what I do, you can't stay off. I can't not be on social media. But social media has ruined this country. It has. I'm sorry, it has. We used to be able to have legit conversations with people who disagree with one another. And at the end of the day, we weren't wishing death on the president or pulling out guns and shooting each other or burning down buildings because you don't agree with something. I don't think back in 1963 there was anybody celebrating the fact that John F. Kennedy had just had his head blown off in Dallas. And I can tell you that the support in 81 when Ronald Reagan was shot, there wasn't a whole lot of bipartisanship going, well, I hope he dies. But just because you don't like the president doesn't give you the right to say you hope he dies. All right, we're going to talk about something positive. I got to get off of that, man. I'm so pissed at people right now. Just sickened. Absolutely sickened with people in this country. We're going to talk about, well, it's still COVID related, but there's a great children's book coming out this month, written by a friend of mine. Her name is Selena Adelson Journey, and she is a vice principal at an elementary school in Washington. She's written a book called When the City Went Quiet, and she will join us next when we return here. Jason Walker Show.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Fall is officially here, and now is the perfect time to get your rig tuned up before the big hunt. That means a lift kit from Auto Concepts. An Auto Concepts lift kit will help take you places only the animals can go. And when you do get that big one, make sure you have help to get it home with a winch to pull it out. Or maybe you'll be a good friend and help pull someone out of the snowbank. Check out AutoConceptsHelena.com for more ideas. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918. Or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Oh, it is the Finally Friday Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center here in the Major Mortgage Man Cave. And got on this day in history, got predictions coming up. There was a couple of big AA football games last night. We're going to recap those as well. And I'll give you, like I said, my predictions for the weekend. And a huge on this day in history. So, on this October the 2nd. We'll keep you updated on President Trump, who is headed to Walter Reed Medical Hospital out of a, quote, abundance of caution after coming down with COVID this week. So him and the First Lady both. But we want to get to our first guest, really our only guest today on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. She is a vice principal. She is a cancer survivor. She's a great friend, and she's now a children's book author. It is Selena Adelson Journey. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me today.
It is. It's my pleasure. And, well, really, I have to thank you because your wonderful husband of how many years?
16 now.
You've been married 16 years?
No, we've been married for 8 years.
Oh, but together
we've
for
been
16.
together.
Okay. So your wonderful husband, who has been with you side by side for 16 years, took you on a little, you're going on a little getaway tonight, which is much needed in this day and age.
Yep. Yes. With the camper, we're headed to the Gorge here in over by Portland, Oregon.
Nice. And I bring that up just because you're literally taking time out of what your husband's doing something nice to do a radio show. So I appreciate that. Selena Adelson Journey, our guest here, author of When the City Went Quiet. We're going to talk about your book here in a second, but it is October. You are a cancer survivor. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I guess about 16 years ago I was diagnosed, and I'm a Montana native actually, and received treatment in Salt Lake. And the doctor said it'd be a small blip in my life, and I was lucky enough that was the case for me. So I've been a survivor for 16 years now.
That is just awesome. And I've known you for a long time. I've known you since high school at Belgrade, when you used to babysit my kids. You're making me feel old here.
Me.
You're making me feel old. They're 22 and 20, and now you have your own two little ones. What are they, 1 and 3?
Yes.
It's awesome. Being a mom, is it something you always wanted to do?
Actually, I was not sure, but my husband really wanted kids, and I've always been around kids as an educator, and so it felt right, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's a crazy life, but I really enjoy it.
Did you know in high school, though, that you wanted to be in education?
No, I did not. I was actually in nursing school pre-cancer, and then after I got out of the hospital from all my treatments, I just couldn't go into nursing. So I switched over to education, but that's fitting because my dad was a football coach and history teacher and high school counselor, and my mom was a principal as well. So it's something all my family has done.
Super awesome. Selena Adelson Journey joining us here. Jason Walker Show. So you take care of, you're the, what did you tell me before we came on here? They call you the baby boss because you're the vice principal?
Yes. They call me baby boss, the kids. It's endearing and cute and sweet.
That is just super awesome. Selena Adelson Journey joining us. Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. K through 4 are the kids that you mainly deal with. It was a weird spring, and it's a weird fall for those in education. And before I ask you any other questions, Selena, I've got to just say, my dad was a former teacher. He's back in administration now in schools. And I have nothing but respect for what school, from the top down, teachers, administrators, everybody has to deal with right now. And it really started back in March for you guys. How odd was it in March?
You know, I remember on March 13th, they said, we're not going to come back to school for a couple weeks. And, spring break was approaching. And so we kind of thought, well, this was going to be a small wave and a precaution and very, very temporary. And then all of a sudden that temporary over time became very permanent. And through the spring, I would say we were doing what you call emergency teaching. We were just trying to get platforms up and running and kids access to the materials and resources that they need. So we did a lot of home visits and things like that. And now we're in, October, and we're in the same situation, but now we have better plans in place than we did in the spring. And this is becoming a part of the reality of public education at this time.
It really is, and it's an unfortunate one. And I talk to teachers here in Helena a lot about it that are coaches and trying to shuffle and deal. But when it first happened in March, and like you said, emergency teaching, but as an administrator, I mean, how hard was it for you to be able to remotely talk with teachers and then we'll get into the book because of the kids and it's such a young age of kindergarten through fourth graders?
Yeah, as an administrator, it was heartbreaking. I mean, there were days that I was in the school and there was not a single teacher and there were certainly no kids. And it was trying to figure out how we were going to break down the barriers to get kids support, because we know that kids that come from low socioeconomic status have no internet service or ability to go get supports like lunch and stuff. So it's really about trying to support all kids, but also focusing on kids who just didn't have the resources to be able to make it.
That's an interesting point that not a lot of people have brought up and not a lot of people really think about, because you just assume that, oh, everybody's got access to the internet, but they don't. And so how much of a challenge has that been getting those kids not only fed, which is most important, but also be able to do their homework?
Yeah, so for us, our district was really great. We started free lunches age 0 to 18 every single day. And so in the morning, kids could pick up a breakfast and a lunch ready to go out at all the schools in our local area. So we knew kids were getting fed. And then right away, we were able to order as many hotspots as we could. And we delivered those hotspots and one-to-one devices to students who couldn't otherwise come to the school and pick them up. So we have a high English language learner population out here, and so we were able to get some of our ELL leads and coaches and deliver those materials and speak another language to be able to support those families in getting their kids up and running with online learning. And for some that had no access, we did home delivery for paper packets for homework books every single week.
Wow. Awesome job. Awesome. Selena Adelson, Journey, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. So during this first couple of weeks of COVID, when did you decide, you know what, I need to write a book about this?
I didn't. It wasn't the first couple weeks. It actually wasn't until July. And so July, administrators have that time off. And I just was finally able to sit down and maybe breathe and take a breath and try to, reflect on what all had happened. And I've spoke about it a little bit, but I saw the inequities that were happening with so many children, just in our case, but also just around the whole nation. And with that, some of the hardest conversations I had were with single parents, particularly single mothers who were trying to work jobs to get food on the table, but also to be able to support their kids on online learning, not wanting them to get behind. And it was then that this book started to come to mind. And I think it was my own way of also dealing with being lonely and isolated away from my friends and family and the people that I work with at my job and the kids. And so I sat down and I wrote the pre-draft of this in about 3 hours on a Saturday night with a glass of wine. I think that gave me a little inspiration. And I sent it out to 6 different publishers, and I heard back from 2 and was able to move forward with one. And that is San Juan Publishing, and that's my publisher is Kate Burke. She's just been phenomenal to work with, a wonderful, wonderful woman, and gives so much to her community.
So the book is called When the City Went Quiet, and it follows a young lady, and I've got the book art up, but it follows a young girl and her single mom, like you mentioned. The first, what I've read anyway, and it's unbelievable. And the illustration, which we'll talk about her in a second, but it's amazing. I wish I could draw. But it talks about the first wave of how a young child and her single mom in New York dealt with COVID right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's and it's pretty true to life, when not being able to go play with your friends. And is this stuff you heard from others, or just everything that you knew that you were just like, this is going in the book?
Well, part of it was what I had learned from talking to people, but also what I was experiencing in myself. And then, being so close with students and being able to talk through some of those emotions, and having friends with young kids as well, I just took people's experiences and the stories that I had heard and brought them to life through the words that I was able to create in the story. And it is about how a little girl, Estelle, and it's about her emotional experience with COVID and the lessons she learned beyond herself in this experience. And though this has been a very difficult and challenging experience for all of us, toddlers to adults to older people, there are lessons to be learned from this, and that we can wrap around one another and support one another in this time.
How did you come up with the name Estelle?
I don't know. It just came to mind.
Estella was my grandmother's name on my mom's side, my mom's mom. So,
okay.
Yeah, so it kind of, it stood there. Page 18, or at least on page 18 of what I've been reading, but you talk about they're at the mom and Estelle are at a park and in New York, and talking about how being more socially connected because you're able to, FaceTime and video chat with friends and Grandma Harriet. And that reminds me of the first couple of months of COVID when, pick up for groceries for your family members or the elderly that can't make it out, or helping to make masks, or creating signs of encouragement to hang up in the apartment window. I liked that section of the book because it took me back to when everybody cared about each other.
Yeah. And we need to remember that we still need to care for one another, that we still have people who can't go out and get groceries, and people who need support and need to have encouragement, such as the little kids and the parents right now who are trying to homeschool, and the parents, they don't have an education in terms of being a teacher and educator, and we have to give them signs of encouragement each and every day too. You're doing it. You're doing the best you can.
I love your descriptions. A cheeky raccoon, when you're talking about some animals, just some things that I took away from the book. But at the end of it, what I've read, there's a lot of questions that Estelle has, and there's a great section in there at the end about how to read this book with your children. Discussion questions, what to bring up, like how do we protect ourselves, how do we do the social distance, talking about emotions and things like that are great for asking, like I said, parents to young kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my intention of that is that this book is meant to be read alongside a adult to have those conversations, so that students or so that children build understanding. I think sometimes kids don't care to know or don't want to know, but when they feel that they're left in the dark, that's when we see some of the emotional impacts of COVID or trauma in general come out through anger or sadness or frustration. And so the more we can actually talk to children about the realities we're all experiencing, the more they're able to cope and come to you when they need support.
You talk about, too, in the book, and again, it's called When the City Went Quiet, but coping ideas. And I think there's like 5 of them, but, music, talking helps, and just taking different breaths. Pressure points, that was interesting. Actually, you had me doing the finger pyramids and squeezing my fingers today while I was talking about in my opening segment. So thank you for that. You helped me, not just a little kid.
Yay! You even walked away with a strategy. And that's exactly right, is the strategies are not meant for just kids. They're meant for adults. They're strategies that I use sometimes in my own work. So I'm glad to hear that you took something away from it.
Well, absolutely. See, I read, I learn. What's the response been like for this book?
I pre-sold about 70 books already, and that's
Nice.
really to close people. Of course, nobody has a copy yet because we were supposed to be coming out with the book yesterday, but we're 9 days behind, so it should be out next week. Will be available on my website, but you can pre-order now if you'd like. But for the people that have reviewed my book, and I've probably sent it out to about 15 or 20 people, nurses, school counselors, parents, a wide variety of people. I've had very good responses from my book reviewers, and they are really excited to get it out.
Tell me about Julie D. Because how do you know her? Because I think she lives in California, but her bio is pretty cool too. And like I said, the illustrations in this book are so fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, Julie D, where do I begin? So Julie and I have about 4 years behind us. Julie is actually our nanny that's been with us since my first son was born. Actually, before he was even born, I knew her. We worked together at a school. And so much of this book I can see from Julie's lens. She is also a single mother trying to raise 3 children, and she put her life on hold to be able to support and give her children everything that she can. And she is an amazing human and somebody that I trust with my own children. And through every triumph that she's had, she has come out on the other side. And so she's an amazing artist, as you said. And so when I started this book, I said, I want you to be my illustrator. And she's never done it before, and I'd never written a book, so it seemed like a really great team, and it turned out wonderful. And she lives here in Vancouver, Washington, but yes, from California.
Okay, yeah, she and like I said, I love the pictures. I just wish that I could draw as somewhat decent, not even decent. I mean, it's unbelievable. And it takes me back, Selena, too. It's not this fancy illustration. It's more. I don't want to know, real? Is that a good word?
Yes. I wanted we talked a lot about the illustrations. I wanted them to be realistic and warm and comforting and inviting for children to just look at and to have them they're very rich and beautiful. And the book starts from the spring but actually ends in the fall. And we plan on potentially a series of 2 more books coming out that's going to take us through the rest of this experience. But yeah, they're just inviting, and I wanted them to be very realistic and child friendly. I didn't want them comical. There's a few other COVID books that have come out, and they're all about ninjas and things like that. And I wanted something that was more relatable through a child right now.
Yeah, no, I completely love it. Selena, hyphen. Here, you give me your website. I've got it typed up, but obviously I can't read.
That's okay. It's Selena-Adelson-Journey.com.
Okay. Dash. Not it. Okay. Hyphen dash. Same thing. Not hashtag.
Yeah. No,
so
not hashtag.
You've written this book, and like you just said, you've got a couple more you're thinking about. I can't even write a love letter anymore, or I've run out of ideas to write my wife on her birthday cards and things like that. How do you write books?
Oh, I've only written one, remember, but, for me, it was, I think if I was being honest and transparent, I really struggled in March and April. I struggled with not having the job that I usually had. I struggled because I couldn't allow my children to go play with the friends we usually had. And my son, Brexton, was really, behaviorally was acting out in some ways. And that was it was so hard to cope with. And so this was part of that healing process for me. I sat down and I wrote a book, and people journal and they go for hikes and they do different things. And this was the first time that I sat down and I wrote it, and I shared it, and people were like, wow, have you ever thought about getting this published? I was like, no, I haven't actually, but well, let's see. What do I have to lose? So, yeah.
I love it.
But maybe we'll have 2 more.
Solina-Adelson-Journey.com is the website. And it's Solina.
Yes.
I couldn't find the picture in time, but there was a picture of you at our house, and it was Faith, and my brother was holding Faith up in my jeans. It was super cute. Oh, I think it was her first birthday party, my oldest daughter.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
21 years ago now.
Wow.
So much fun.
Way back.
I know, right?
We did. We had a lot of fun times, though. We definitely did.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there was, I think you actually took the picture. I have a picture of my dad, my brother, me, and then my son, Bob. He was just a baby, but we were all on the deck. So it was like 3 generations of the Walker boys. I got to find that picture too.
Oh.
Pictures everywhere.
So neat.
But yeah, I'm so glad you're doing well. I love this book, what I've read. I can't wait to read the whole thing. And I wish you nothing but the best. And it's so cool. And I have so many other questions that I just, like, are you guys in school right now? Or are you doing half remote or?
No, we were preparing to switch to remote actually next week, but our numbers spiked after 5 weeks here in Clark County. They suddenly spiked, and so the health department said, nope, you can't go back. And I think that's one thing that people don't understand, that so much of this is on the educators and the boards to decide, but the health department really run a huge piece of being able to go back or not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Is this book going to be required reading in your school?
No, but I am. But I will be donating several books to the school counselors here in our district, as well as our library.
Okay.
So
I have talked, Solina, to, like I mentioned, high school coaches here in Montana that also teach high school, not just football or other sports, but you're in the kindergarten through 4th grade, and I want to know, when you do get back to class, how tough is it going to be? Because I don't know if Washington's the same as Montana, but I don't know if, how do you have a kindergartner or 1st grader keep their mask on for 6, 7, 8 hours a day?
That's going to be incredibly hard, and we're going to build in mask breaks for the kids. The realities of going back to school is we want the kids back in school, but people need to understand that school is not as we know it anymore, and there's not going to be lunchrooms here. We have to note where people are sitting every single day, so that if we have to contact trace, we know who's been in contact with those kiddos. This is going to be a whole new set of experiences for little kids, and I think in some ways it could cause, I don't want to say maybe secondary trauma. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what happens as they come. But I want to encourage people, as we prepare to go back to school, that we try to do this in a fun and engaging way, because the kids are going to pick up on how we feel about returning. So if we can stay positive and say, we're in this together, we can do these hard things, and have, your goose wings or out, or, you mask up like a raccoon every time before you get ready to walk around the hall, or you put a stamp on your hand and you have to wash that stamp off before you get to eat your lunch. If we can do fun things like that, I think that we will only better our children through this experience and not make them so nervous to return.
That is very well said. Perfect way to wrap it up. You are an adult now. You're a mom, 2 kids, but you still are like that little 17-year-old girl in my eyes. So I feel like I need to protect you somehow. I don't know why, but I've always loved you. So
thank you, and thank you so much for reaching out to me to do this. It was just super exciting to catch up again and tell your brother hi for me.
I will. Tell your husband thank you for letting us borrow you for today, for a little bit on your romantic getaway. But
You know, you're a Montana girl when you're going to the woods for a vacation.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Well, and you're a Montana girl because you still have your Montana phone number.
Oh, I do. I haven't changed it since high school. Pathetic, I know.
Wow. No, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Selena, appreciate it. The book, again, it's called When the City Went Quiet. You need to order it, SelenaAdelsonJourney.com with the hyphen in between the names. And you can look it up on the website. But on my website, JasonWalkerShow.com. When the City Went Quiet, order it today. It'll ship out in October, in the middle of the month. I love it. Thank you so much, and continued success. Stay safe, and thank you again.
Okay, I wish you well. Thank you.
That is Selena Adelson Journey, my friends. Great friend of mine and the family. Just love her to death. But get that book, When the City Went Quiet, and it's Selena-Adelson-Journey.com. See, I can do this. Great book. All right, we're going to come back. When we do, I got predictions for you. We're going to recap a couple of games last night. Another game just got canceled in the state, and we'll do it when we come back. Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Final segment on a finally Friday Jason Walker Show. Capital Collision Center brings us to you each and every day, and we need to bring you to them if you've been in an accident. The customer service is so unmatched. It's I can't believe how I can't even describe how great the customer service is. When you take your vehicle to Capital Collision Center, they will send you a text message multiple times a week to let you know where they're at in conjunction with repair of your vehicle. That's how much they care. And they'll call you. And the customer service, unmatched. Capital Collision Center on Euclid in Helena. All right, so a couple of big games last night. And I picked Gallatin, but Skyview has won 2 in a row. After losing 22 straight, the Falcons have now won 2 straight after they got a big win last night over Gallatin. And then the Glacier and Hellgate played as well, and there was not a whole lot of defense played last night. And was it a 58-34 or 54-38 game? And it was not really close. Jake Rendina, there's some conflict. Somebody said he had over 300 yards received. And another one said he had over 270. So all we know is that he had 7 rushing touchdowns. And the MHSA archives and record books has not been updated in 2 years. So imagine that, because MHSA is on top of everything. Anyway, the junior from Glacier scored 7 touchdowns and had nearly 300 yards rushing. I mean, he's got 15 touchdowns. He's had games of 4 and 4 and then 7. That's through 4 games. So, pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. But a big win last night for the Wolfpack, who are now 4-0. Helena High looks to go 4-0 tonight, as does Sentinel. And you've got Sentinel in action as they play. I know it. It's right on the top of my tongue. That other school over there. Big Sky. Wow. It's Crosstown. Sentinel and Big Sky. Jordy Hansen's going to be at that game. We'll talk to him Monday about it. Volleyball last night we mentioned as well, the Crosstown battle, as the Capital girls have now won 61 straight. All right, let's do our predictions for football. Oh, we do have golf final. AA, I know for sure. It just came in. Sentinel's Cade McDonough we talked about. Bozeman Sammy Yates are your individual champs. McDonough on the boys' side, Yates on the girls' side. Sentinel boys, and then Bozeman girls win the team title. Sentinel boys win by 6 shots over Gallatin. But a second place finish, the first trophy in Gallatin High School history, goes to the Bozeman boys or Gallatin boys golf team, who finished second. Glacier third. Then Bozeman girls go number 1. West girls number 2. And then senior girls number 3. Butte girls 4, Capital girls 5. The Capital boys, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, finished in 5th. Senior boys in 4th. So 406mtsports.com will have everything related to that you want. Let's see here. What else? Individual. Did we get to that? Yeah, Cade McDonough. Jordan Verge finishes in 2nd. Justice Verge tied for 3rd. Jordan was... So McDonough goes 3 under. The only player on the boys' side under par for the tournament. 4-shot win over Jordan Verge, and then 6 shots back of that, Justice. Joe Opitz ties for 5th. Eli Groeschel of CMR also tied for 3rd with Justice Verge. The highest placing Electric City, or Capital City, would have been on the boys' side. Kaz Bloomquist. I played golf with that kid. He's so good. He was 18 off the pace, finished in 13th. The lone top 15er. All right. And then on the girls' side, Sammy Yates, number 1. Bozeman teammate Cooper Narr, 2nd. And then Kinsey Walsh of senior and Marcella Mercer of Flathead finish tied for 3rd. Capital City, you got Sealy Chapman at Helena High in 10th. Just 12 off the pace. Lauren Williams in 11th. She's funny. Great family, too, the Williams. But they're the only 2 from the capital city in the top 15. So there you go. All right. We mentioned there was another game canceled tonight. Hot Springs White Sulphur canceled tonight. That'll be played October 10th. So a week from, or tomorrow, it'll be played a week from tomorrow on the 10th. So Hot Springs and White Sulphur Springs will play next week. and COVID has already caused some issues. Belgrade at Great Falls is canceled. Lewistown at Sydney. Glendive at Billings Central. Red Lodge at Poplar. Browning at Dillon. Cutbank at Wolf Point. And Loyola hosting Anaconda have all been canceled and or postponed. So there you go. And I know we're having some issues on Facebook, so you can go to jasonwalkershow.com. We'll have the whole show uploaded here in a little bit. All right, let's get to predictions. I got Butte at Capital. Bruins get a second straight win. I just think they're that much better than Butte right now. Helena High's at Flathead. Flathead's not good. Helena High is. Bengals roll. They'll be 4-0. Whitehall at Jefferson. This one counts. They played a non-conference game last month in which Jefferson lost, was it 18-16, I think? I think the Panthers win tonight, though, when it matters. Townsend is at Three Forks. The Bulldogs are going to cruise. And then Hamilton at Sioux Falls. Top 5 matchup in Class A. I got Hamilton winning on the road, but it should be a good game. Both teams are going to find out how real they are. So there you go. Today is October the 2nd. It is National Custodial Workers Recognition Day, Fried Scallops Day, Manufacturing Day, Body Language Day, Produce Misting Day. You have a day for those misters, like it that scare the crap out of you when you're in the produce section, and then the sprinklers come on. Name Your Car Day and World Smile Day. Did you name your car yet? Your first car especially? I didn't name my first. The one I currently have, I've named her Tiffany. Just like it. 1876, British Open, St. Andrews. Bob Martin wins. Davy Stroth refused to take part in a playoff. They both finished 176, and then Davy said, yeah, I'm not playing any more holes. So Bob Martin wins. Refused to play. Wow. 1908, Cleveland Naps pitcher Addie Joss. A perfect game. 1916, his third start in 5 days. Remember when I said pitchers used to be men? Philly right-hander Grover Cleveland Alexander records his 20th century MLB record, 16th shutout of the year, making his third start in 5 days. 1921, Babe Ruth, 59th home run, then a record. 1938, Bob Feller strikes out 18 in a loss. 1950, Bob Shaw, Chicago Cardinals, sets the NFL record with 5 TD receptions. Quarterback Jim Hardy had 6 touchdown passes. 1963, Sandy Koufax struck out World Series record then, 15. 1966, Koufax would win his 27th game of the year. And I got to get this hung up, my Sandy Koufax autographed picture. Got to get that, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. St. Louis pitcher Bob Gibson on this date in 1968 would set a new baseball World Series record by striking out 17. 1970, 14 members of the Wichita State football team, as well as 17 admins and supporters were killed in a plane crash in the Rockies. 1972, Expos pitcher Bill Stoneman with his second career no-hitter. He beats the Mets. It was the first no-hitter ever pitched in Canada. 1981, 17-year-old gelding Behaven Jerry, the oldest winning racehorse in modern times, sets the record for most career starts with 307. How about that? And 2016, Vin Scully called his final game for the Dodgers after 67 seasons. And he just joined Twitter last month. 1945, Don McLean was born. Singer-songwriter, American Pie. 1948, Chris Ledoux was born, passed away in 2005. Also dying on this date, 1973, Paavo Nurmi, the Flying Finn, 9 Olympic gold medals. And 2017, I can't believe it's been 3 years already, Tom Petty died of an overdose at the age of 66. That is on this day in history. I'm trying to get to this. Here we go.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
The walk-off is brought to you by Cafe Zydeco. Make sure you stop by 625 Euclid in Helena. They are open from 11 to 8 tonight and 9 to 3 tomorrow. Unbelievable food. Get some great stuff. It's one of the top, it's fourth MSN ranked Cafe Zydeco 4th in the nation in the top 35 for Cajun food. Yeah, it's really good. So stop by, walk off. Good luck to all the teams that playing this weekend. Congratulations to Cade McDonough, Sammy Yates from Sentinel and Bozeman, respectively, for winning golf championships on the AA. The Sentinel boys and the Bozeman girls winning team titles. And go 406mtsports.com tomorrow or later for all your Class A updates. Who wins those as well? Big games tonight across the state in multiple sports. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Okay. I was going to talk about this Wood Bat League. Maybe we'll do it next week. Wood Bat Expedition League. It's going to be in Butte. It's trying to get into other Montana cities. We'll talk about it a little bit more next week. But just saw this tweet too. Michael Moore, the Fat Slob director, took to Twitter today to proclaim his thoughts, quote, his thoughts and prayers are with COVID-19 following President Donald Trump and Melania testing positive for the coronavirus. So this goes back to what I talked about at the beginning of the show. Don't be an ass. I don't care. I just don't care who you vote for. I really don't. But when the President of the United States comes down with a serious illness, not the time to say, I hope he dies. Like multiple people have done. Multiple. Over 40% of Democrats polled today across the country hopes the president dies. Don't be a dumbass, okay? Don't be a complete loser, because that's what you're going to be. Unbelievable people that would say that. Just stop. We had a great show today, for the most part. Selena Adelson Journey. Get her book. Go to selena-adelson-journey.com. It's called When the City Went Quiet, and it's about how to talk with kids, and school-age kids especially, about COVID and the coronavirus. Great book. Thanks to her for joining us on her day off today. Barry Abrams, Scott Evans, great guests this week. Kyle Mahelish. Who else did we talk to? Jordy Hansen, Sean Gleason. We'll have Jordy on Monday. We'll recap the weekend. Stay safe. Best wishes to the President of the United States of America. We'll be back Monday at 4. Have a great weekend, everybody. This is the Jason Walker Show. We'll see you over at jasonwalkershow.com, too.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.